Welcome, everyone. I have a question for you. How is your public speaking going? How are your presentations at work going? How are your speeches or your toasts in your family going? Well, today I'm going to share with you 4 key components of an unforgettable presentation. Eben Pagan says, when you choose the name or the motto of your business, don't try to make it easy to remember, but impossible to forget. So this is what I want to show you today, how to make your speeches, your presentations, your speaking in public unforgettable. Now, why is this important? It is important because each and every one of us has a message to convey with the world. The fact that you're listening to this right now, it means that you feel that there is something that you absolutely need to share with the rest of the world, and you want to make it powerful. Now, this is what we're going to talk about today. The 4 key components of an unforgettable speech. I heard a beautiful quote by Serena Dyer. Don't die with the music still in you. If you look at this image, there's this music, this energy, this message that needs to come to the surface and be shared with the world. And by knowing these 4 components that I'm going to share with you today, you are going to be able to bring that music out and to change people's lives with it. Good vibes, good times. Hello everyone again. My name is Diana, and I would like to share a little bit about myself. I worked as a project manager in healthcare, as a business analyst in oil and gas, so I have a business background, but now I am a life and a relationship coach, a trainer, and a yoga teacher as well. I am very passionate about helping others to transform their life in the most wonderful ways. It can either be through coaching, it can either be through sharing of knowledge, through yoga, through breathing, meditation, but also through this part of expressing themselves and communicating to the world what they want to communicate. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first, we're going to talk about why we are here, why I'm doing this presentation, why you're listening to this presentation. Why should you care about this? Then I'm going to ask you what your craft is, and we're going to talk more in depth about that. And finally, this is the actual meat of the presentation. What are the 4 keys of an unforgettable speech? But first, let me share with you a heartwarming and inspiring story. When I was in university, I participated in a sustainability project with 2 of my best friends from university. We came up with the idea to create the foundation for opportunity, responsibility, and chance in education. Short for that is FORCE. That's the acronym. And we thought it was very powerful. We applied with this project at a bank. This bank was from France. We applied and we got the first prize in our country, and we were invited to the second stage of the contest and also the final stage to Paris. We arrived 1 day before, and we went out by night in the Eiffel Tower to visit the city and to look at it at the City of Lights from above. We took the elevator and we didn't go to the top right from the start, but we went to the first level of the Eiffel Tower. When we opened, there was this large door and it said conference room of the Eiffel Tower. And then I turned to my 2 friends and said, imagine that one day we're going to participate in an event here and we're going to receive this amazing prize for a great accomplishment, and we are going to walk on stage and the crowd will go wild. And then my friends were saying yes, and everybody will be clapping and cheering for us, and we're going to come on stage and get this amazing prize. And we really felt that we were there on the stage and in the acclamations and the clapping of everyone. And then we took the elevator again. We went up to the highest floor and we looked at the city by night, which was mesmerizing. The next day, we went to the bank's headquarters for the final round where we were going to present our project to everyone, to the jury. And the lady said that the ceremony of awards is going to take place in the conference room, the first level of the Eiffel Tower. And then my friends and I looked at each other and said, oh my God, this is a sign. Well, what do you think happened? During that day, we presented our projects, and in the evening, we all went to the conference room of the Eiffel Tower. The president of the bank came on stage and he announced the third prize, the second prize, and then the first prize. And he said, the first prize goes to FORCE, Foundation for Opportunity, Responsibility, and Chance in Education. And all three of us stood up in the cheers and applauses of everyone. We went on stage and we got our prize. As you can see, this visualization that we had, which we accompanied with a lot of emotions of us on stage, turned into reality very, very quickly. I would like that the story inspires you to see yourself in front of people or in front of the group where you want to convey your message, and to feel enthusiasm, to feel that you can actually convey the message and inspire them and change your life in the most beautiful ways. Why am I sharing this with you? I find that the power of communication and the power of creating memorable speeches is one of the most important skills that we need nowadays. Whether we communicate online, whether we communicate in person, whether we communicate through presentations, this is very important. It is very important to be able to connect with people quickly, to get to their hearts, and to create memories for them and to change them. This is why I would like to share with you what I have learned from my mentors in public speaking. Now, what is your why? And I cannot answer this question for you. I would like you to ask yourself, why is it important for you to listen to this presentation? Why is it important for you to invest in your public speaking? Why is it important for you to make your speeches not only memorable, but impossible to forget? And that being said, rate the importance of public speaking and communication in your life, and also maybe in your professional life, on a scale from 1 to 10. How important is it for you in this time of your life? And last but not least, ask yourself, if you would be a great public speaker, if you would be able to deliver unforgettable presentations and speeches, how would your life be different now? So my action item to you is, how will public speaking change your life? The memorability factor, how does that sound? I believe that you heard thousands and thousands of presentations, short, long, conferences, online courses, teachers teaching you in school. But how many do you actually remember? How many do you actually remember? How many actually changed your life? I think very few. Am I right? Apparently, people hear only half of what you're telling them. Out of that half, they understand only half of it. Out of that, they only remember on a longer term half of it. So by the end, what they actually remember is just a small part of your whole message. And in most of the cases, they will not remember at all, which is very sad. You know why? It is very sad because I am giving you my time to listen to you, and you are giving your time to present to me, or the other way around, right? So we are both investing our time. Time is the only irreversible, or the only resource that you cannot get back. So the gift of time is the most important gift that you can give to another person. This is why your presentation doesn't need to be easy to remember, but impossible to forget. Your craft, my dear, dear friends listening, you must be very, very good at something in your life. I truly believe that there is something that makes you passionate, something that makes you enthusiastic, something that when you do it, you lose track of time. You are a genius at something. You have a talent. You have something that you're very, very good at. I know that. Maybe you have already discovered it. Maybe you are on your way to discover it. We all have our journey. Some people know since they're little because they start playing the piano, or they paint, or they're very good at sports, and so on. But most of us people, we discover our calling a little bit later in time, and that's fine. It can be related to your work, but it can be related to something else as well. My suggestion for you, in order for this presentation to actually sit with you, and in order for you to make best use of this presentation, is to think about an idea, a signature idea, something that contains the message that you want to convey to the world. Now, if you're looking at this presentation for professional purposes, then have in mind what your presentation is about. What is that signature speech of yours? You can think of your expertise if it's professionally, but expertise doesn't only relate to professional stuff. It can relate to anything. So my question to you, I would really like you to have in mind right now what your signature speech is about. Why? Because when I'm going to share with you those 4 key components, you absolutely need to know how, and to have in mind something that you can apply it to, because otherwise you will not remember it. The 4 key components of a memorable speech. Number 1, tune into WII FM. What does it stand for? WII FM stands for What's in It for Me. It is very important to tell your audience why they should be listening to you. Why should they invest their time, their half an hour, their hour, or their day listening to what you have to share? That is your biggest connection. How I shared with you at the beginning, your what's in it for me is that you are going to get the skills in order to be able to convey your message to the world, to share it in such a way that people will not forget you. If you look at your signature speech, what is their what's in it for me? How will their life change when they listen to you? Will their relationships be better? Will their health be better? Will they learn something that will make their work easier or faster or more productive? What is it in for them? A nice way of saying it is, today I'm going to share with you ... In order for you to This is how you solve a problem that they're having. Thus, dot, dot, dot. And this is how they will feel, what the result is afterwards. For example, today I'm going to share with you 4 components of a memorable speech in order for you to be able to convey your message clearly, thus sharing your powerful message with the world in an unforgettable way. So maybe take a few seconds to fill out the dots for your signature speech. What are you going to share with them? What problem is it going to solve? And how are they going to feel afterwards? What is the result, the palpable result? Tip number 2, give me the essence. I love how a phrase that pays sounds. What does that mean? It is the essence of your message. If the presentation is over, this is what you want people to remember. This is something that people want to say over and over and over again. It sums up the essential of your presentation. And in order for them to never forget this, usually you are going to say this at the beginning, say it throughout your presentation, and also say it at the end. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and tell them what you told them. What is your phrase that pays? What is your phrase that will make your speech not only memorable, but impossible to forget? Number 3, and my favorite, make me feel. You will notice that what creates memories are actually emotions. If you look back of the moments in your life that changed you in a way that touched you, that made a difference in who you are today, are those moments, those people, those situations that created powerful, strong emotions in you. It could have been a relationship. It could have been something that you saw, something that happened to you on a professional level or on a health level, or on a personal level. It was something important. Maybe something happened to someone you loved, something good or something bad. Maybe you got a great job or you were laid off. Maybe you married someone that makes a huge difference in your life, or maybe you had a kid. Every single memory that is in your mind and you won't be able to forget it, it's that moment that created emotions in you. This is why one of the key components of a memorable speech is a personal story. Something that makes people feel, something that makes you more personable, that people can actually visualize when you tell the story, and people can feel it with you. And again, what do you remember? What do you remember from your past? So my suggestion for you is to ask yourself, what is your personal story? What personal story can you share with your audience in order for them to open their hearts, in order for their hearts to beat, in order for their breath to change? Number 4, action. Sadly, I can share a lot of things with you today, but unless I give you a call to action, something that you can implement right away, this presentation will not stick. This presentation without a call to action will not only not be memorable, but will be also very possible to forget. But if I give you a call to action, something that can be implemented right away, then I have a chance for my presentation to be unforgettable. This is why I asked you to think of your signature speech, because once this seed is planted in your head and you start thinking about it slowly and slowly, that plant grows. And it might not grow fully during this speech, but it will grow more and more and more the more you think about it. And an unforgettable presentation absolutely needs to contain is a call to action for your audience. So when you think of your signature speech, what would you like your call to action to be for the people? Remember, you want that call to action to allow them to apply what you shared with them and to change them and their life, even in the slightest way. Before a presentation, we are usually terrified. As you know, this is already a cliche example, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. But the fear of public speaking is very high, is top 10. Some people call it top 3. We are terrified of making a fool of ourselves. We are terrified about what other people think of us. I know this is scary, and this is why the most experienced speakers each have their rituals before they go on stage or before they talk in front of even less than 10 people. It is important for you to elevate your level of energy. You need to feel that you have energy in order to be able to offer that energy to your audience as well. You can stretch and breathe. Why is this important? So stretching and breathing brings you in a state of relaxation. And you would say, no, but I need to be focused. Yes, you need to be focused. You are going to be engaged. But if you are too tense, you won't be able to convey that message in an authentic way. So stretching and breathing, bring your heart rate down, calm your mind, allow you to think more clearly. So stretch a little bit side to side, do some twists, do a forward fold, and breathe in and out, in and out, in and out, 3 times before you go on stage. Priming. Priming is a way of breathing that Tony Robbins uses. And I will share with you a link. There's how he primes himself before he goes on stage, because he is talking in front of thousands of people, and this is draining. So if Tony Robbins, if a speaker of that caliber uses priming, maybe this is something worth looking at. Power pose. Power pose, again, I will share a TED Talk with you where this wonderful lady who came up with this concept shares why this makes us feel more confident. In order for us to feel more confident or to change our emotions, we can change our posture, to stand up straight, to have the shoulders relaxed, to have the chest forward and the chest proud. We can breathe to change our emotions, and we can also change our focus. So what are we focusing on? We should be focusing on how things are going to go well on stage, how people are going to receive us with smiles and with warmth. And they're going maybe to cheer for us, just as I imagined with my friends when I was in the Eiffel Tower. And last but not least, something that really works, and Brendan Bouchard, for example, says that he is doing this, active movement. So you can do some jumping jacks, you can do some jump ropes, something that increases your blood flow. Again, by increasing this blood flow, your mind is clearer and you'll be able to focus more and you will feel more connected. So try these out and see what works best for you. These things, honestly, they take just a few minutes and they work miracles. So choose your favorite. This is TanyaRobbins.com. You can search for priming and then look for TED Talks. Power Pose by Amy Cuddy. Now let's rewind. You figured what your craft was, what your signature speech is about. And if you haven't, then please sleep on it. It is not worth it to listen to all these courses or do all these personal development stuff if there is not something you want to focus on, if you don't have a project. So choose that signature speech you want to work on. Everything that you're learning is going to stick forever if you do. Then we talked about the 4 key components of a memorable speech. What were those? Tune into WII FM. What's in it for me? What's in it for your public? Why should they listen to you? Why should they invest their time? You absolutely need to share this with them. Secondly, give me the essence. What is your phrase? If your speech is over, people stand up and leave and they go home. What do you want them to remember from your speech? Third, make me feel. What is your personal story? What makes you feel will make your audience feel as well. I promise you. And last but not least, a call to action. You need to make sure that your audience will implement what you shared with them today in order for that material to not only be memorable, but impossible to forget. And last but not least, we talked about you raising up those 4 ways of preparing your body and your mind for the speech. What were those? Breathing and stretching, priming, power pose, or active movements such as jumping jacks. My call to action for you is to practice your signature speech with 2 people, a colleague or a friend and a family member. It shouldn't be longer than 4 to 6 minutes. This is nothing. You can do it over. You need to start practicing to communicate that powerful message that you have. As you can see, when you practice this for the first time, it doesn't need to be perfect, but you absolutely need to do it. So practice your signature speech with 2 people. If you don't want to prepare at all, that's fine. Just make sure that you do remember and use the 4 key components. What's in it for me? The phrase that pays, the personal story, and the call to action. I'm going to say it again. Repeat after me. What's in it for me? Phrase that pays, personal story, and call to action. Why? Because you want your presentations to not only be memorable, but impossible to forget. Don't make your speech easy to remember, but impossible to forget. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for investing in your personal development. Thank you very much for working to become a great speaker, a great communicator, because the world really needs your message. Let us stay in touch. My website is www.ahacommunity.com, and you can also contact me at Diana, D-I-A-N-A, at ahacommunity.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know if you need other tips like this for presentations, for making you a better communicator. I wish you good luck, and make sure that your speeches are not easy to remember, but impossible to forget.